Hey guys, it's Minty. Just wanted to do a quick shout out before we get into this week's episode, which is going to be number 3. Neil and I talk a lot about the different stuff that's going on in the racing world at the moment. There's been quite a bit of controversy, so I think it's definitely something we're sticking around for. I just wanted to plug a couple things before we get started. Number 1, the Discord. It's Racecar time. I've got it on the screen right now for you to see. Please stop by. We got a lot of good memes coming in. And a lot of discussion going on. We talk a lot about that during the episode that you're about to watch, so that'll be super interesting. Number 2, if you want to check out my stream, come stop by. I stream on Twitch under the name Keep It Minty on Friday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Either way, I hope you guys are excited to get into another episode of It's Racecar Time, and please enjoy the show. All right, hello, and welcome back to the It's Racecar Time podcast. This is going to be episode number 3. I'm Minty, as always, and I'm here with my buddy Nab. Please say hi.
Woo!
Woo!
We're still doing it.
We're still doing it. This one should be an interesting episode. We had a lot to talk about, but now it's not going to be quite nearly as much, so we'll go a little bit more in depth.
Because of the
technical difficulties.
Yes. Blue screen of death. Was it even a blue screen of death? Do they still have the blue screen of death anymore?
Yeah, it's still a thing. It just automatically resets your PC now.
Oh, okay. But it's not necessarily blue. If you're watching the YouTube version, this is my dog Churro.
We got a special guest.
We'll probably make lots of appearances because he's always in my lap constantly.
He's a needy baby.
He is. He's a whiny little bitch dog, but he's male, so I don't understand how that works. But anyways, let's talk about race cars instead of dogs.
Ah, my favorite topic.
Yes.
What you got?
Well, first thing, I want to give a big shout out to Georgia boy Chase Elliott winning 2 NASCAR races this week. He finally beat freaking Chase Elliott in the Truck Series. Or no,
Kyle Busch.
Kyle Busch. Yeah. Chase Elliott beat Kyle Busch. Finally, someone needs to take that man down. And then he came back and won the Cup race just a couple days later. So
very dominant performance.
He got that bounty in the truck race. The what? What was that?
Very dominant performance.
Yes. So I was super happy about seeing that, just because I'm sick of Kyle Busch in NASCAR. But I'm super excited that now there's some more racing coming on, because IndyCar should be kicking off next weekend. NASCAR has got Bristol tomorrow night.
That's right. Or tonight if you're watching this on time.
Yeah, since we don't live stream yet. But if you're watching this or listening to this when we're actually probably going to be posted, it's going to be tonight, Sunday. And so we'll be talking about it since it's Saturday right now. Little inside baseball there.
Yeah, Chase Elliott, super dominant performance. 2 wins this week, very good. He did claim that $100,000 for charity that was to take down Kyle Busch in the truck race. So that's very cool. Yeah. I'm glad somebody did that.
That was supposed to happen in Atlanta the weekend that got canceled, the weekend before all this pandemic started.
Oh, okay.
That's the race Chase Elliott was supposed to run to get this bounty. But then obviously this whole coronavirus pandemic, if you're listening to this 10 years down the road, guess what? That's what we're talking about right now. Yeah. Look it up. I'm sure there's a Wikipedia page.
I'm sure everybody will remember this one. It's like as memorable.
But finally, at least other racing is coming up. Indy cars.
Finally,
something Indy cars.
That'll be exciting. Oh, did we get confirmation on who's going to be running the McLaren team, or who's going to be driving for McLaren?
This year?
Yeah.
It's still going to be the 2 rookies. Alex Palou and I forgot the name. Button and Alonso. That was just a rumor from last week. I haven't heard anything new about Button. Right. Apparently, Alonso is trying to get back into Formula One, possibly with Renault.
I heard a rumor about that. I don't think he would be with Renault. I know he replaced Button, uh,
Button
for his debut in Formula One.
Yeah,
Have they raced on the same team yet, though? I don't know.
Button and Alonso. Yeah, they were both at McLaren.
Oh, for Formula One.
In Formula One, yeah. Yeah, they were teammates at McLaren for a while.
So it's not too big of a stretch to see them together at IndyCar then. Assuming that, of course, he has time, or Alonso has time to do IndyCar with the potentiality of going back to Formula One.
If Alonso does go to Formula One, I think the IndyCar is over. I really do. Yeah, there's no chance that he's going to do Formula One and IndyCar.
No, honestly, I don't think he'd have enough time to do it. And although I don't know if he really would even want to go back to Formula One since he had such a arduous time running in Formula One. I think IndyCar's probably going to be a more likely option.
Yeah, I mean, depending on how everything shakes out with this pandemic. Yeah, I don't know. That is something we're just going to have to follow and see if it's all just rumor or whatnot. I know Renault is not the highest level team. I would not consider them in the top levels. So why would Alonso go to Renault to be a mid-pack Formula One driver again? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. Well, there's also a rumor that what's his face at Mercedes right now, Valtteri Bottas.
Bottas?
Yeah, he might be going to Renault. There's a potentiality for that since I know they have kind of a working relationship between the two teams and they've done it before. And then they're talking about a rookie driver with Renault who's supposedly going to start. Maybe. I don't remember the guy's name.
Just do the rookie driver, honestly. As a rookie driver, the way Formula One is now, he probably brings money to the team. He's probably paying for that ride. That's just the way.
Or if someone is.
That's just the way IndyCar works nowadays. Or Formula One works nowadays. IndyCar works that way too. That's why Santino Ferrucci got a ride in IndyCar. So.
Yeah. Well, the new Williams driver, I know he's a pay-to-play.
Lance Stroll.
Lance Stroll, that's right.
I think his dad is like huge in banking in Canada. He's like the head of the biggest bank in Canada or something like that.
Well, the company that he does own owns the Royal Bank of Canada. I know that, but it's like a major food service distribution industry, supposedly.
Oh, so it's like Aramark or something, or
kind of something like that, where they have like a bunch of companies
like that in the United States.
So he's got pay to play. Am I thinking of Strom? Who's with? Oh shit! What's the name? Who's got the
Lance
pink
Stroll.
uniforms?
Who's got the what?
The pink driving uniform.
Force India or whatever they're called now. I can't remember what they're called, but they used to be called Force India.
Yeah.
Adrian Sutil? Wow, who's with Force India this year? See, I would know all of this stuff if we actually had a race this year.
I don't.
I would know every single driver, but because we had the silly season like over 6 months ago, I don't remember who's with every team unless it's like the main drivers. Because we haven't had a Formula One race since November last year? This pandemic is, God, I don't need to get into that. Everyone knows that this pandemic sucks. Everyone across the damn planet.
That is very true.
There was some discussion on just trying to figure out what Sebastian Vettel was going to do now that he's leaving Ferrari, as to whether or not he would be going to Formula E.
Yes. Yes.
Just talking about that.
Lance Stroll's with Racing Point. When I mentioned Williams, I was actually referring to Nicholas Latifi, who is another pay-to-play. He was the one that has the Canadian backing. You know whose dad owns everything, and then Lance Stroll. His
He
dad
was at
owns a
Williams.
team. I know he owns part of Williams, and I think he also owns part of McLaren. Something like that. Raikkonen's still with Alfa Romeo. I think Raikkonen's probably my favorite F1 driver. Probably because he's so divisive, but it's just fun to watch. Interesting.
Or just because his interviews are terrible in like the best way possible.
He just doesn't care, and it's great.
Yeah. He's... Okay, this is probably like a weird tangent, but Kimi Raikkonen's interviews seem... Do you know Aubrey Plaza?
Yeah. The actress?
The actress. It's like weird and awkward in the same way, except he's not as hot as Aubrey Plaza.
Well,
he's pretty close, but
that's true. And he's Finnish. Those are some good-looking dudes.
And he's Finnish, but like they're both just so awkward, and like Kimi Raikkonen just gives the weirdest, most awkward stone face. Like, I don't know what to say.
I love the interviews that they did with him and whoever he was with at Ferrari, where they're driving the car around and they had to ask each other questions.
Oh yeah,
just every answer was like,
I think that was for Vettel.
I think it was for Vettel.
Like Vettel. I think it was like Vettel, and they were like taking turns driving the LaFerrari or something.
And
they had to answer questions while they were driving. Yeah,
so good. It's like, oh, what's your favorite gas company? Shell, because they sponsor me, and I have to say that.
Yeah. I actually recently watched one of the truck races that Kimi Raikkonen ran in NASCAR.
Did he really?
Recently. And he did. Like a few years ago when he left Formula One. I think this was about 8 years ago. He left Formula One for a while. And he ran for Kyle Busch, I think. It was for KBM in the truck series. Like 3 races, something like that. I watched a Charlotte race he did. And the post-race interview with him was super weird. Because I think it was Michael Waltrip that interviewed him.
Oh, that's funny.
So just imagine Michael Waltrip talking to Kimi Raikkonen. Just like a northern Kentucky crazy NASCAR man.
What do you think about the race, man?
It was pretty good. It's a lot of turning left. No, I'm not used to that.
All right.
Oh,
dude, the NASCAR interviewers are the fucking weirdest people on the planet. Swear to God, I can't tell if they're trying really hard to be funny or if they genuinely think they're super funny.
I think a lot of them genuinely think they're funny and like try to be funny, but that's just because so few of them. We remember the ones that used to be funny. Like, if you watch a lot of NASCAR in the past, there were some interviewers that were quite funny. But, like, a lot of them now, they're just like, okay, I want to be the next Dr. Jerry Punch or whatever. Like, they don't have a relationship with the drivers yet.
Yeah.
Not like the old pit reporters that were definitely, like, former drivers or former crew chiefs and stuff. Which most of the pit reporters and stuff now are former drivers and crew chiefs and stuff. But they're trying to do the Rutledge Wood thing.
So cringy. Just cringy, in my opinion.
Yeah, they try a little hard sometimes, but...
Did you see that interview from like 10 years ago? Or not? It wasn't an interview. It was a segment where they had 2 drivers come on to do the like the sitting at the desk and talking thing for like a quick segment. I think it was Kyle Busch and someone else. But
no.
Oh, it was great because they're making fun of like how easy it is to do their job. Like, man, this is great. I've got cue cards. I don't have to know shit about NASCAR. I just read these. Like, oh, what do they have under there? Do you see any makeup hidden under there for fucking what's his face? No, but I found this brush with who knows where these hairs came from. It was so good. It was so good. It was a Sonoma race that they did it for, I believe.
Oh, okay.
It's so good. You got to go back and watch that. If you can find it.
Okay, I'll have to find that. If you find the link, put it on the Discord.
Yeah, I'll drop it in the Discord.
Drop it in the Discord, and I'll pop it under the YouTube and on Instagram.
Yeah.
especially so I can watch that. I don't remember this what you're talking about, but it sounds awesome.
It was funny because they
like
didn't know what to talk about, but they had a good enough idea that they could just kind of do it, and it was okay.
Yeah,
It's so funny.
like I'm kind of enjoying the Xfinity races. They've been doing guest commentators. So I think this past Saturday, no, God, I'm so used to thinking of Xfinity races on Saturday, but Xfinity now race at Charlotte on what, Monday? So it's throwing me off. So this past Monday they had, I think it was Kevin Harvick and Clint Boyer, and the Bristol race coming up for Xfinity. I know it's going to be Kyle and Kurt Busch.
That should be
They're
interesting.
going to commentate the Xfinity. Yeah, that's going to be super fun. So I don't even like Kyle Busch, and I still want to watch this race just because he's commenting. Like, you're a terrible driver, and I hate you, but God damn it. Actually, no, he's not a terrible driver.
No, he's a great driver.
Yeah, he's
why
a
no one
fucking
likes
great
him.
driver. Yeah, like, he just constantly beats my guys. So it's like, God damn it. So that's the problem. It's not that he's a terrible driver.
No, he's an extremely divisive driver.
He's...
You either love him or you fucking hate him.
Honestly, he's kind of the Jeff Gordon of his time.
Well, that's what people are comparing him to.
Yeah, because I loved Jeff Gordon when he was racing. Jeff Gordon was my favorite driver. And Dale Earnhardt wasn't my favorite driver. So the rivalry was Jeff Gordon and Dale Earnhardt. If you're an Earnhardt fan, you're not a Gordon fan. Now, it's if you're a Kyle Busch fan, you're not a Chase Elliott fan.
Yeah.
And if you're a Chase Elliott fan, you're not a Kyle Busch fan.
Yeah, I've heard the exact same comparison where people are like, well, Chase Elliott's like the pretty boy that everybody likes, so he's like Jeff Gordon, but since Kyle Busch is really good and like the opposite, he's more, associated with Earnhardt.
I think, Kyle Busch is the more Earnhardt because he's more of a veteran.
Yeah.
And I don't even think he's 40 yet. And he's already got 2 championships.
How old is Kyle Busch?
I think he's 39, something like that. And in NASCAR, where you can run till you're like in your 50s.
Yeah. He was born in 1985, so he's 35.
He's 35, so he's the same age as me.
He's got time.
Yeah, if he runs another 15 years.
I could see him sneaking in, even in these next couple of years. He's up there for another championship, for sure.
Oh, definitely. He could probably win. He could give Jimmy Johnson a run for his money if he starts busting them out as fast as Jimmy Johnson did.
Yeah, I completely agree.
But the other big thing, let's move off of NASCAR for a little bit because everyone's talking about NASCAR, even like NBA players and shit. I've seen that on social media because they're the only thing going besides golf. And let's be honest, golf has nothing in comparison to fast cars going around in a circle.
No, I would call it the absolute polar opposite.
Yes. Tiny balls going into holes.
Underwater basket weaving is the only slower sport. And even then.
I'd actually kind of watch that over golf because I've never seen that before. So
see, I like golf.
I've seen golf before. But anyway, the other big thing I mentioned Formula E earlier, but this Daniel App thing. I want to hear since you're the big proponent to e-racing on this.
Yep.
I mean, I've done my sim racing in the past, but I kind of stopped watching a lot of the e-racing. But Daniel Apt, for the people who might not know about this, he got fined and fired from his Audi ride in Formula E because he hired a sim racer to race for him in an Formula E race.
Yeah, professional race. A real race,
yeah.
Not like a for fun, not like for a charity. Like this one counts towards the season. He hired someone else, a professional e-racing driver, to come in and take his place and race so we can get a better position. And it was proven that the guy was better, so it's not even like it, lost him any points or anything. No, he hired someone better.
I didn't watch the race. Did the guy win? I thought he won the sim racer.
I don't remember. I don't think he won, but I know he placed way better than how Daniel Abt was driving all season, at least on the e-racing side. And even all the other drivers were like, yeah, he's driving completely differently. Like, you could tell just in the way that they're taking lines and stuff that it's a completely different guy. And when they showed the face cam footage, it was like blocked off. Like, you could see like part of his eye. And that was it.
Oh, damn. I didn't even know that they tried to, like, hide his face, too.
Oh, yeah. Well, the thing is, they change they double-checked his IP address, because that's how they're seeing which machines are associated with who. And it was coming from somewhere completely different. So, he just wasn't in the race. And then when they found out, Audi was like, that's cheating, which it absolutely is. This is an actual event that he cheated in by hiring someone better than himself to come and take his place. Audi found out, and they were absolutely disgusted.
Clearly, they fired him.
Yeah,
like,
no,
he lost his factory Audi drive.
Yep.
Just because you wanted to cheat in a video game race.
In an official race, that's the difference. Like, I could understand if it was like, a fuck around, we got 15 different types of cars in here, and they're all pink and purple and covered in glitter stickers inside the race. Like that, who cares? But this is an official race, one that he's getting paid to be there for. That's the difference. The guy's getting paid to drive for it.
That same sort of thing happened with the Bubba Wallace thing. He was getting... It wasn't a NASCAR race in terms of, like, he got points for the actual series.
Right.
But, like, his sponsor paid him to run in the race, and then he rage quit. Yeah. And so he lost his sponsor completely.
Yeah, because he was being a little baby
sponsor was like, you rage quit, we don't sponsor quitters.
Yeah. No, and I agree, and I think they're totally right for doing so. I think that was absolutely stupid. You couldn't keep your cool. Dude, it's a fucking video game that you're getting paid to play. Sit through it. Even if you're not doing well, sit through it. Fucking drift the corners just for fun if you're mad at it. Who cares?
Yeah, if you're really bad,
cheating and you're being a little bitch about it, do you even deserve to be there at that point? Is my question. So kicked out of Audi, and he was forced to pay $10,000 to a charity of his choice. But you know what? Money's going to charity. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, that's good.
So fucking stupid. He's an idiot. But the thing is, other drivers are getting mad about it, or they're like, well, yeah, we all had to conform to this, e-racing thing, so we're taking it on and being opening and welcoming to it, even if some of us aren't, like, the happiest about it. But the fact that this guy lost his spot for fucking running someone else in a video game, that's ridiculous. Okay, I see your point. But this is an official race. Once again, it's an official race. He's supposed to be there. He's the paid driver. He's the professional. And he's going to hire someone else just because he's not good enough.
He obviously wasn't acting like a professional when he did that.
No, and I don't think he even cares, to be honest.
I've heard his apologies, or like I've read them on social media and other media talking about this. He didn't sound super apologetic until Audi fired him.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But now, like, so what do you think would be next for him? He'll probably go to sports cars.
Maybe.
But he won't.
Not if they're running an E-Series. Oh, yeah, he's not going to get in any Audi ever again, I'm assuming.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure anyone is like, hey, we're buying an Audi R8. So who are you going to hire as a driver? Daniel Abt. Nope, you're not buying this Audi anymore.
Maybe he'll end up at Renault.
No.
He's not good enough.
No, that's not the reason. He probably is good enough. He doesn't have enough money.
Oh, true.
Although they are doing that budget cap now. So actually, that's a fairly good...
That is a good topic.
That is a good topic. This whole thing about Ferrari talking about, if we do this budget cap, which has passed, so it's apparently happening, that they're going to do the budget cap, and then they'll we're not going to stop spending all this money. We're just going to use that other money that we're not spending on Formula One and going sports car racing. And rumors are IndyCar.
Now that would be cool.
That'd be awesome.
That would be sweet.
But
I'm okay with that.
I don't think. I think that was just grandstanding by Ferrari, trying to get what they wanted. Because like when they were starting to bring in the hybrids, I remember when they were going from the V8s to the hybrids, they were like, "Well, if you don't give us what we'd like, we'll just start our own series, our own Formula One series."
Yeah, it does sound like something.
They do this every. They do that every time that they start getting in negotiations. They're like, "Okay, well, if you start doing things the way we don't like." But the difference is this time Formula One's owned by Liberty Media, not Bernie Ecclestone.
Yep.
And Liberty Media can run the numbers and be like, yeah, no, we're not listening to you. We're going to do our own thing.
Yeah. Well,
they're calling Ferrari on their bluff.
I don't know why Ferrari truly cares, because they have by far, like by 3 times the second place, they have the largest budget in Formula One, and they're still placing like shit. So I don't, if they don't, whatever, dude. Like if you're mad about it, then it's like, well, at least everybody else that's doing better than you is now limited as well. I don't really get how the limitation works, because I know it goes by how you're placed for that season currently.
It's $145 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's for per car, like for per team. And that is on development of the car.
Right. And I know there's a particular amount of time there, or a new rule that they're introducing. I think it's new, but it's limited time inside of a wind tunnel to be able to develop the car.
Yeah, that's going to be new.
But if you're in like first through, 6 or whatever, your points or your hours allowed in are taken away, a certain amount of them, and then given to the guys at the back.
Oh, okay. I haven't delved that deeply into the rules on that.
Fucking weird. So the people that are doing shit get more wind tunnel time, essentially.
Honestly, I think the easiest way to get around this is to get over this whole constructors thing.
Yeah.
Where Formula One teams have to be their own chassis constructor, and just let them sell their old chassis. Like,
I think the easiest way is just to run your best chassis of all time.
Well, maybe.
Just keep running the same Silver Arrow.
Well, with the way they change rules so often and the amount of development that they do, their best one is the most current one. Like a 3-year-old Formula One car, unless it's got like a completely different engine in it, is slower than a brand new Formula One car. That's just the way Formula One works.
Yeah.
They're always getting faster. But like, I'm thinking like, why couldn't Ferrari give Sauber, Alfa Romeo, a 1-year-old Ferrari chassis? So then Alfa Romeo doesn't have to do any of the development on that chassis because it's already within the rule books, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's essentially an old Ferrari, but it's immediately better than probably whatever they came up with anyways. And why can't a Toro Rosso be a...
You mean AlphaTauri?
Or AlphaTauri, yeah, whatever that stupid freaking name, AlphaTauri.
I think it sounds better. Why can't an Alpha...
Apparently Red Bull makes clothes. That's what AlphaTauri is. It's their clothing line.
Is it?
I heard about this, and that's why they're changing their name. They're trying to give more knowledge to their clothing line that they made. Which, I was like, okay, so it's the Red Bull Benetton type thing? Like the old Benetton clothing?
Oh.
I don't even know if...
No, it's like...
Yeah.
Modern... It's like damn near tech wear. It's like actual fashion. Wow. It looks good, too. Yeah. I didn't even know about this. I might have to look into this. Hang on. 25% off right now. They got a flash sale going this weekend. If you're listening to this, check that out. Oh my god, it's expensive. Take advantage of that 25% off.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, but 25% off a 400 pair of pants, $400 pair of pants. How much is that? Oh, and that's the thing.
$300.
It's probably not even in dollars. It's probably in euros.
It is in euros.
And you probably have to do the whole currency
Configuration.
swap.
Yeah.
Yeah, figure out. So it's probably like $300 pair of pants in euros, and then you convert it to dollars, and then it's like 600.
The t-shirts cost more than Gucci does.
Jesus Christ!
It's 80 euros.
Well,
for
no wonder
black t-shirt.
no wonder they want people to buy their clothes.
It all looks good though. I'll give them that. And most of the Formula One fans, like the people that at least go to races, can probably afford stuff. That's probably the kind of things they are wearing. I think AlphaTauri is a better name than Toro Rosso for like a racing team. And they've got a cooler logo, so I'm cool with it. It doesn't bother me that they decided to make
it's
this
it's gonna take me a while. Like, hey, I'm still calling Racing Point Force India as I did earlier.
Fair enough.
It takes me forever to change name.
Well, there's a rumor that Albon might be moving to AlphaTauri, and then they might be pulling in somebody else. I think it was a Japanese driver for Red Bull Racing.
Probably the Super Formula champion. I can't say his name. I'm not going to butcher.
I don't remember what it is.
The Japanese name.
Anyway, that's the rumor that he might be coming in there.
Yeah.
Just to give somebody that Max Verstappen can, kind of.
Verstappen.
They don't have to. They can just focus on Verstappen, and they don't have to worry about this guy. They can just consistently gain points from him placing mid-tier, versus Albon, who's not been quite as consistent.
Yeah, well, Albon's also younger, and he actually moved up. He was with Toro Rosso
in Formula 2, right?
Well, he was in Toro Rosso.
And then back
he was actually in Formula 1 with Toro Rosso for a little bit. And then they did a driver swap. I think it was last year or the year before. So Red Bull's always doing that. That's part of the reason why I hate this whole thing of like, no, they are separate teams. I'm like, no, you guys choose and trade drivers back and forth. Like,
it's the
Toro Rosso and Red Bull Racing are the same team.
Hands down.
Like 100%. Like, let's not kid everyone watching the race and act like you're not the same team. Just like, and here's the thing, NASCAR does the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because the 21 car for Matt DiBenedetto is a Penske Racing car. Yes, it's technically the Wood Brothers, but because you're only allowed to have a certain number,
which is
just like the
4
70
teams right now, right?
The what?
Is it 4 teams or 3 per, or 4 drivers
4.
or 3? Okay, so it is 4.
You're allowed to have 4 cars per owner.
So they can enter another 4 using Wood Brothers instead.
If they wanted to, well, but then they also have the charter system, so you'd have to buy the charters. It gets all kinds of complicated.
I don't know.
That could be an entire podcast where we just try, in our most basic layman way, to explain the charter system in NASCAR.
We could do that as a separate YouTube video sometime.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different ones. We still need to start doing the weird racing stories one, where I tell you about weird stories from racing that I remember. We can do one on the 6-car Formula 1 race at Indianapolis. We can do one on Jocko Flacco. All kinds of weirdness, weird stories in NASCAR. I don't remember the actual name of the driver, but there was one time where a driver actually left right after a race was over in the race car because he was running from the cops because they wanted to arrest him for moonshine running. I'll have to look up the complete story. I'll have to look up the complete story, but I've heard about this story.
I know there was one time where a fan stole the pace car and took it out onto track.
I'm
the
fairly
cops had to chase
certain
him down.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. owns that pace car. I'm pretty sure he's talked about it.
That's absolutely
bought
hilarious.
He bought that pace car just because of that story. And also Tim Richmond.
I was just taking a look around. It looks like Pinty's is going to be coming back in July, which is good news. It's not too far away.
Oh, the Canadian NASCAR one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I hadn't heard about that. I love the Pinty series.
I think it's sweet, dude. Drift stock cars on the street. It's sick.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I really like the Pinty series, and I also do really like the Peak Mexico series.
Oh, the short track?
They run mostly... No, the Peak, the ones in Mexico. They run road courses.
Oh,
stuff.
That's right. Yeah.
They got the little small cars. Like their cars look tiny, but then they still have V8s in them. But there's like high revving, so it's like it sounds like they're four bangers. Honestly,
dangerous.
they look like they're Toyota Camrys.
Yeah.
But honestly, they look like Corollas.
Fair enough.
But like. Some of the racing is actually pretty freaking cool. Like the last race last year from the Formula One track. What is it? The one in Mexico City. The same Formula One track that they race there. And NASCAR race there. They go through that baseball field. But Formula E also races there.
Not zero surprise.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think they used the same track as Formula E this past year, actually. And that produced, like, my favorite Formula E race ever. That one where they ran out of juice right at the start-finish line.
Oh, yeah, and the second place guy ducked around him real quick.
Yeah!
That was so fucking insane.
Yeah, Rodriguez.
And that's not even the first that's happened before. That was just the first time it happened in an E-Series. I've seen guys run out of gas right before the finish line, and the second place just...
That is part of the reason that I'm getting a little sick of with these major racing series with price controls and that kind of stuff. I just want one series where they let them develop, and I would love to see a team develop a car that, like, if you were running in the 24 hours of Le Mans or something, and you could do all 24 hours on like 5 pit stops instead of 20, and you win because of that. Like, yes, you're slower, but you're using so much less fuel, you don't have to stop as often. Like, you're almost as fast, but like the ACO, they've done like pit stop limits. Like, you can't go more than 10 laps without pitting, stuff like that, just to keep it fair.
Right.
It pisses me off. I was like, that's one of the reasons why I really wish IMSA would bring in the rule that ACO has of you're not allowed to change the tires while refueling the car. So it would bring in that extra strategy element. If you can take care of your tires and double stint them, your pit stops take half as long.
True, but you still have to stop twice as much. Give or take.
Well, you have to stop for fuel, but then you have to cut off the tire change section. I mean, Audi won how many different Le Mans because they were able to quadruple stint their tires through the night?
True.
When the temperature was cool.
Diesel when no one else was, so they could go twice as long.
Well, exactly. Like, that's the type of thing. At this point, if we really want electric vehicles to start being more developed, we need them to start being able to develop stronger batteries. And if they wanted to do like a long endurance series, why not do a type of thing like the BMW i8 that has, or the Fisker Karma that has a combustion engine, but that combustion engine is only there as a generator for the battery.
The LaFerrari is the same way.
I think the LaFerrari has the same system. I think the McLaren P1 has the same system. And if you want, you can like turn up the juice and then you can use that power to an axle or something, but you don't necessarily have to. I think the
Ferrari
P18,
you have to, versus the because this was a big thing on the Grand Tour, was the P1 and the 918, the Porsche, could both switch into only electric and drive specifically on that, versus the LaFerrari had to have the gas engine running the whole time because there wasn't like a battery pack. It just powered the electric, and that's it. That's all it did. Versus the other cars where there was more of a hybrid system in place.
Yeah. Well, like, what if you took like an LMP1 car, like these current hybrid ones, and then just take the engine part and just develop some way to quick charge the electric battery, and then you would just have to pit every once in a while to fill up with gas for the generator. Yeah, so you would still have pit stops, but the pit stops would be less frequent-ish, maybe.
I know that's what the trick with the Porsche LMP1 car was. They were using it to power the electrical system on the straights, or to recharge the electrical system on the straights while they were driving it, and then they had regenerative braking every time they hit the brake, so it was always constantly getting more power, so that way they could stay out longer. Yeah. And
that is one of the best LMP1 cars ever, like, in my opinion. I mean, there's a reason why they kept doing it. They made that tribute version. And
that was way faster in every way because it was completely unrestricted, that one. That really dope car.
That one was amazing. Oh, so this is a shout out to the Marshall Pruitt podcast. I heard something this week on his that he came up with as an idea for DTM.
Okay.
So you know how we've been talking about what DTM should do so they actually survive what they're doing?
Right.
So he came up with the idea. Well, I don't know if he came up with it or he heard it, but he said it on his podcast, and I love the idea. So it's GT3 cars. You take a GT3 car, but you're allowed to develop it. So like right now, all GT3 cars are homologated to be within a certain performance parameter.
Right.
So they're not faster than GTE or GTLM. They're not faster than whatever. They're in this window. So what if from the base you take a GT3 car and then you take off all the engine restrictors? Let's let those engines make as much horsepower as they want and then open up the aerodynamics.
And make that the touring car series?
And make that DTM. So essentially you're allowed a DTM but you're allowed to develop the car. So then it would essentially be GT3 on steroids.
Yeah, but isn't the current DTM slower than GT3?
No, I think right now they do about GTLM lap times.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I don't know. Google it, Jamie.
Jamie?
As a shout out to Jamie. As a shout out to Joe Rogan.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. But yeah, look up Hockenheim, like the Hockenheim ring, since I know that you have GT3 and DTM at Hockenheim. Trying to think of what other tracks that has had both. Oh, you could do Brands Hatch. That's another one. But I'm pretty sure that the DTM is a little bit faster than GT3. Because they have a lot more aerodynamics.
Possibly. I don't think I'm going to be able to find that information in a reasonable amount of time.
Instead of our normal segment of Google it.
It is 11 degrees there if you wanted to know.
What, in Nuremberg, Germany?
Yeah, at the Hockenheim ring.
Well, 11 degrees Celsius, so that's like 50 degrees, I think. Like 45, 50, something like that. Fahrenheit.
51.8. Call it a 52.
51. See, I was close.
You were pretty close. I'll give you that.
Yeah. That's because I just watch way too much racing, and I see and they always give it's just like I know that 300 kilometers per hour is fast as shit. and even that is really not even all that fast.
300 miles per hour in
No,
kilometers.
300
In miles per
kilometers.
hour, that's
I think,
fast
like-
as fuck, boy. That's 200.
Like-
No, 320 is 200.
Yeah, 300. 320 is 200.
They talk about
320,
that
and then I see Formula One cars go about 330 sometimes, and Indy
zero
cars
surprise.
go like 340 sometimes.
yeah,
Like if I see the Indy car, like if I'm watching like the Eurosport version randomly.
Yeah. The only reason I remember that 320 to 200 mark is from watching Wang and Midnight. I don't know if you've ever seen that show. It's pretty good.
Oh,
The late night
I mean,
street racing of
I
Japan.
knew that from
anime.
when I used to torrent Top Gear episodes. Sorry, Top Gear. Of course, I torrented it. Everyone did. I think like before Game of Thrones, Top Gear was the #1 torrented show.
That would not surprise me at all.
I'm fairly certain that was it. And then Game of Thrones came by and destroyed it in terms of torrent downloads. But before that, Top Gear was the king. So like they knew Americans were watching, but they didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, no, they didn't care.
Let's see. Let me see if I can try to find it. GT3 lap time Hockenheim.
All right, I'll look at DTM then.
Speaking of Hockenheim, I actually watched one of the old Formula One races at the old Hockenheim.
Okay,
Oh, yeah, here we
so
go.
2019 DTM Hockenheim. BMW M4 Turbo did it in, looks like 1 minute, 3.5 seconds. Wait. Where's that hour?
That's
No,
minute.
it's gotta be.
That's Formula One.
No, that can't be right. Wait, what? I do not know. Interesting. Q2 128 at 185 kilometers an hour. Oh my god, one team was down 15 laps. They probably, DNF'd. Were you able to find the LMP one?
Oh, LMP? I was looking for DTM.
Oh, that was on DTM.
Let's see. I found a Porsche 911 G. Oh, that's Hockenheim short. That's not the full. That's not the full.
Your browser is
racetrack.
blocking ads. Yes, thank you. I'm aware.
Whatever.
Schumacher did it in a 113. Oh, wait, no.
Formula. Well, of course.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, that was the fastest lap, but the actual lap record, Kimi Räikkönen at a 113.78.
Yeah, I think that was in the V8 era.
Oh, that was back in 04. So, yeah.
Yeah, that was the V8 era.
Is that the year that Kimi Räikkönen won? I don't remember.
The championship?
Yeah. I know he won it one time and only one time. Oh, first win. No, it was.
Damn.
No, that was his first win. When did he win? Oh, he won the 2007 Formula One World Championship. That's right. Cool. Oh, you know how we were talking about how, we were speculating on how the V8 supercars were doing their E series and how they were choosing, which places they were going to race at, right?
Yeah, they had I saw that they were going to have a cool one this weekend, Spa and another one.
Yeah.
V8 supercars.
Turns out it actually does come down to a fan vote. And they brought it down to a final two. Wednesday, they announced which one it was. I could not find that for the life of me. Spa was round 5. So I don't think they were in the running for this one. I don't remember. But either way,
so,
it does come down to a
probably-
fan vote. It's not a driver
probably
choice, which we stated last week, like we were thinking.
I mean, Shane Van Gisbergen is going to win.
Probably.
To be honest.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at this point.
But, well, that's kind of cool that the fan vote then probably chose the Charlotte Oval as opposed to the Charlotte Road Course.
Right.
Honestly, when I saw that they were going to Charlotte, I thought they were talking about the road course.
Well, the road
So
course
when I
would make
turned
more
off the
sense,
race-
but
Yeah, I assumed it was the Roval road course thing that NASCAR has been running. But then when I saw that they were doing the oval, I was like, holy shit. V8 Supercars on an oval? That sounds awesome. And it was.
right. Which is super duper cool. Who else is going to be racing soon? Or what other series?
I mean, honestly, the one I'm mostly interested in is IMSA going to Daytona on July 4th. So they're taking the old...
They're doing a second race this year at Daytona?
Yeah, because Florida's opening up right now. And IMSA shares the same building with NASCAR. IMSA and NASCAR are owned by the same company.
Right.
So they're both owned by the France family.
Mm-hmm.
So their home office is literally across the street from Daytona. So essentially, they're going to do a 2-hour, 45-minute regular race from Daytona because Florida is going to be open.
Okay, cool.
So no fan.
Wish I could get down there for that. I missed fucking going this year. I wanted to go to the races here at Daytona, the 24, but I went last year.
I don't think they're allowing fans there. I think they're doing 2 races. They're doing one in Daytona on July 4th weekend, and then one at Sebring. I think 2 weeks later, 2 weeks after. But those are going to be regular 2-hour, 45-minute races. Since the 12 hours of Sebring is in September or October, something like that, later in the fall.
Right. Yeah. Oh, that brings up a good point. If you're like most of us out there, me especially, I don't pay for TV because that's kind of absolutely stupid. Unless you want to watch racing, at which point you have to find a live stream somewhere. So if somebody has some kind of a source to watch it online, obviously for free, come on, help us out here. Please drop it in the Discord link. It'd be fun to do some kind of watch party. I would love to get like a ton of us in there, and I'll stream it on my side and drop it in the Discord so everybody can watch it and we can all discuss it live. I think that would be super cool if we can get some of that going on.
I know. The way I get my racing is YouTube TV.
Right.
That is $50 a month, and that is every single racing series I could possibly watch. The other way I do it, especially for some less known racing series, is YouTube. There's so many different, like regular YouTube. There are so many guys that post races on YouTube.
Are they live streaming or just
no, they post it. You have to be willing to like essentially use it as your personal DVR.
Okay, fair enough.
If you want to know the guys, I don't want to blow up their spots too much because like if I blow it up too much,
then it could potentially go away.
Yeah. YouTube has removed channels because of that. If they get too many copyright claims.
Yeah, we don't want anybody getting IP blocked either.
I've seen a few channels get copyright blocked that I used to love. So I try not to blow up their spot too much, but just Google if there's a race you want to watch, just put it in the YouTube search. There's a good chance you'll find it. Now you just have to wait and just avoid the internet for a little bit.
Yeah. Normally I would try to find a lot of the times you'll find sporting events on Reddit that somebody's live streaming until it gets canceled or found out about or whatever, and then someone else will throw it up on a different thing. So normally I try to do that, but It's kind of a pain
Sometimes
in
I
the
do that
ass.
with UFC, which I'm thinking, since it is Saturday night, it's 9:25. I might try to find a UFC live stream for tonight.
You certainly could. Looks like Michelin is hosting a virtual race for MotoGP the 31st, which is today if you're watching this same day.
Yeah.
It's another one to look out
Who
for.
cares? It's MotoGP. So a virtual race on a MotoGP. Here's the thing: a virtual race for MotoGP is not the same as a virtual race for Formula E or NASCAR or IndyCar, because no one is sitting on top of their computer leaning in the corner. Everyone's on a freaking controller.
I mean, I know they do make machines specifically for that. I don't know. If anybody here has the money to do that, it's the guys in MotoGP because they're filthy fucking rich.
I don't think they're. I don't think Mark Marquez.
Would,
I don't think Mark Marquez is. I liked MotoGP. I got into MotoGP because of a coworker of ours, Steve Pritchard, is a motorcycle nut. So I was not into motorcycles at all until I met him.
I like watching.
We would always play this. We would always. I finally got into it. He got me into it because he started talking. He was able to compare MotoGP to NASCAR for me, so I started getting a little bit into it and figuring out more of it.
I think it's a lot more like Formula One, but way more risky because like almost everybody falls at least once in almost every single race. It is like haywire to the finest extent. Like
honestly,
so exciting
the motorcycle racing I got more excited about is American Flat Track.
Yeah, Flat Track is super exciting as well.
American Flat Track is awesome.
Drift
God,
bikes?
So cool.
Are you kidding me?
And if they allow fans in October when they come back to Dixie Speedway, I am so going.
Yeah, let's try to hit up as like many races as possible this year at Dixie.
Well, that's the plan once they start allowing fans. Well, that's another thing that just happened this week is Texas, the governor of Texas, is allowing outdoor sporting events to have 25% of your seating capacity be sold.
And they're
apparently he's starting that in June.
Oh, okay.
But IndyCar is choosing not to use it for their IndyCar race at Texas Motor Speedway.
Okay, fair enough.
Because they didn't plan for it, because he announced it like this week, and they've been planning the race there for like the last month. Yeah. So I mean, they're like, we're not throwing that monkey wrench in there.
Yeah, that's a whole nother issue to worry about on top of trying to get a race sorted out. But I mean, hey. I mean, they might let people in anyway, although maybe without like the fan experience kind of stuff. Yeah. Who knows? I mean, it's really up to the track whether or not they would want to let people in, as opposed to the series that's hosting it.
Yeah, I don't know. It all depends on how they've done these deals. Sure. Is it more like NASCAR or IndyCar is essentially renting the track for a private race session? Or is it like having the sanctioning fee? Like, is the track still paying the sanctioning fee that they get back their ticket sales? So I guess it all depends on how they're doing these events.
I don't know the logistics of all that.
Yeah, that's like up here. That's Roger Penske level of stuff, not our level.
That's 1% of the 1%ers kind of stuff right there.
Yeah, that's not our level of knowledge. I've heard apparently the first racetrack that is planning on having fans in attendance is Road America. I believe it's an IMSA or IndyCar round. Can't remember which one, but because Road America is huge. Like it's 4.5 miles long, and then there's like it's a gigantic track. I've never been to that one. I would love to go to that one. But they could easily sell a certain amount of tickets and make it socially distant.
True. Road America is July 31st through August 2nd. Whether or not they're going to have people there, I do not know.
I hear talked of it. Although, well, actually,
Petit Le Mans isn't the last race of the year this year.
No, it is not.
No, it's the third to last. Looks like.
Yeah. I think Sebring.
Yeah, Sebring's the last.
It's Petit Le Mans,
Lime Rock, and then Sebring.
And then Sebring. 12 Hours of Sebring is the last race. And we haven't heard anything about Petit Le Mans allowing fans or not yet. So.
I mean, it's not until October 14th, so
So
honestly,
they have plenty
they
of time
probably
to
will.
announce it.
I hope they do because I want to go back out. We had a great time last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they're allowing it, I'll go for certain. I'll definitely go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which you should as well.
Well, we plan on going to as many motorsports or car adjacent events as we can.
Yeah.
We actually plan on using our YouTube channel a bit more to post like our own videos of car drive-bys, race car drive-bys, maybe some in-car stuff if we can get to like the Midi at Road America or any vintage events over at Barber Motorsports Park, just anything in our area. Essentially, if we're checking out cars and stuff, we're going to take down some content and try to post that up.
I think it'd be fun to do like 10-15 minute vlog for whichever races we're going to, something like that. Maybe not quite so much the dirt series stuff that we go to, but like if we're going to something American a little bit
flat
more
track.
Professional.
I think I would do that for American Flat Track.
Yeah, we'll do one for like each series that we
like. That's a major racing series. But like if we just go to Dixie one Saturday night, maybe not. But
I don't think anybody wants to see 15 minutes of here's mud all over the camera. Fucking
yeah, because it's not World of Outlaws level.
Unless Outlaws comes back through, then we'll probably do that one.
Yeah, I mean the sprint cars we saw weren't even the World of Outlaws. They were sprint cars, but they were the ASCA, American Sprint Car Series, I think is what it was called.
Association.
So like they were like 360 sprints, so the cubic inches of the engine was 360, whereas World of Outlaws is 410.
Right.
So a lot more horsepower, a lot more money.
That was still super exciting, though. That was a great race.
Oh yeah.
Or series of small races.
Well, heats and just the way dirt truck racing. So did we see any good memes this week? I did not bring any good memes.
We did have a couple. Actually, let me
You posted them on the Discord.
I did post them on the Discord. Let me see if I can switch over to that real quick.
Yeah, do you have a favorite meme of this week? I do not have one. I did not see anything too hilarious.
Well, most of them are old, but...
Well, yeah, I mean, you're not going to have a whole lot of new stuff when there's hardly any racing happening.
Have you seen the Big Bill Hells advertisement one?
Big Bill Hells? No, let me see if I can see it.
Oh, that's super funny. Pull up the race car memes. It's the second to the bottom one, and I guess we'll just play it in full because it's pretty fucking hilarious. And it's on YouTube if you want to watch it separately.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, the Honda lawnmower one I've seen before. Because if you did not know, I used to race lawnmowers back when I was in high school. That was... and they said advertising on the spoiler was a waste of money. Oh.
He's flying, yeah. That's a good one.
Ferrari.
They're all going to shoot each other. They're shooting themselves.
Corned beef S's for straight 6 engine.
Yeah, that's
So these are on YouTube. I'm not gonna watch these right now.
Most of these are on YouTube, but
watching. Yeah, so I'll
yeah. Who would win? A Mazda RX-7 FCS or FC3S, which had a turbocharged 13 BT engine tuned up to 345 horsepower, or one Boxy Boy? Gas! I don't know. I like the initial D memes. Initial D memes are the best. and I refuse to hear anything negative about them.
I, as someone who would stay up to like 4 a.m. watching bootleg copies of Initial D on my computer, I also love Initial D. So anything with like Space Boy playing in the background, I immediately get crunk.
You get crunk, okay.
Yes. Like, I just immediately just want to like drive insane and just like, it just gets my heart pumping. Like immediately, as soon as I start hearing Space Boy.
Oh, dude, every fucking car guy has a Eurobeat soundtrack for when he's driving. It's just a thing.
Anyone of our age group, definitely.
Like, well, I mean, Initial D came back around for me.
I would say anyone like 22 to 36, or maybe older, maybe even 40.
Probably about like 19 or 20 now, all the way up to whoever was around 19, 20 years old back in 1997 when the series came out, something like that.
1997. How old was I? I was born in 85, so that means I was 12. I was 12 when that came out.
I'm gonna find out. Hang on.
But yeah, Initial D was my jam.
Oh, it did start as a manga in 1995.
Oh yeah, but I didn't read the manga until after I started watching the anime.
Yeah, the anime is worth watching. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. For the original run was 1999 through 2000. But that was for the original series. So it started in 99, ended in 2008? 2007? Oh, no, that was for the video. 2006 is when the last season came out. And now they're doing a new series of it where they basically just kind of condensed it, but it's really professionally done. Which is kind of cool.
So
I think that's on
Are they
Netflix.
are they reusing the animation, or are they redoing the animation?
They effectively remastered the animation, and then they cut out all like the dramatic shit. So it's a lot more focused around the racing versus Takami's life outside of that as well. Although I want to get the box set. I want to get the box set of that, and I want all of Wagon Midnight as well because it's another great racing anime or street racing.
I do not. Yeah.
That's all to do with the infamous Midnight Club in Japan. The guys that were like supposedly like super elite rich that were battling it out doing more than 200 on the highway at like 3 a.m. or whatever. That's a really cool series.
Those videos, almost like Vader Kart. I think he's from Sweden. Have you seen Vader Kart?
I don't think so.
I'll have to put that in the Discord. Vader Kart is awesome. It's a
guy. Oh, I do know who you're talking about. Where he like runs for the cops on his little fucking
on a shifter cart.
On a shifter cart,
flying through Stockholm on city streets, just drifting on ramps and shit.
Hell yeah, dude, sick. We don't condone street racing. Although if you post it on YouTube, we will watch it.
I mean, we did get into the whole cross country race.
Oh, fucking Gumball Run was broken again, or the record was broken again. Although now they're putting asterisks next to it. Let's find out.
I lost my microphone.
Yeah, I know. It sounds like butthole.
Okay, my back. I lost my microphone.
Hello.
Oh, that's much better.
Okay. Yeah, I lost my microphone. That got unplugged. Stupid dog.
I'm showing April 2020 as the most recent, although I think it was beaten again like last week. Anyway, they did it in 26 hours and 38 minutes, and it was an anonymous team, supposedly.
Well, yeah, but apparently the guy who had the record, who had his record beaten, knows the guys. Apparently, whoever did it is a well-known in the gumball circles.
Yeah, I mean, that wouldn't surprise me. I know what's-his-face at VinWiki held the record for a little while. I think he made a video about it, saying, like, wow, I'm glad somebody beat it. I knew they eventually would. Asterisk, though, because I did it during regular conditions.
Yeah, not during pandemic when everyone's supposed to stay home most of the time.
Right, and all the roads are open with nobody on them, kind of a thing. Still, I think it's cool that people are going out there and kicking the shit out of it. Looks like they were averaging 106 or 171 kilometers per hour. It doesn't seem like quite a lot, but
that doesn't seem very fast.
They probably didn't have to slow down very often.
Well, from Alex Roy, he said the biggest thing about being able to do that well is limiting, just like how we were talking about endurance racing and the 24 hours of Le Mans, is limiting your pit stops.
Right.
Like, I think Alex Roy did it in an Audi, and he had an extra. He removed the rear seats and replaced it with a fuel tank. So he had 60 gallons of fuel.
Yeah, I know.
So he only had
the trick is to add more fuel cells and then be able to switch between them.
Yeah.
And they had a kind of an in-depth dive into the car that they did it with on the VinWiki YouTube channel. If you're not familiar with them, check them out. They've got a lot of great stories. Also based out of Atlanta. And I know the guy that runs the page, I forget his name, but he just had his garage redone by another YouTuber who's super big in the car scene. By the way, go check them out if you haven't seen them yet. VinWiki's really good.
VinWiki. I like the Smoking Tire. I also like Tavares.
Right, yeah.
Tavares is crazy. I also like Cletus McFarlane.
Yeah, he got his own racetrack now.
Yeah, it's sick. I want my own racetrack. Oh my god.
That would be pretty sweet.
Or I just want to meet Cletus and become his second best friend.
Supposedly that group is really tight, where even some YouTubers are having a hard time becoming friends with him, from what I understand. Although he's got a shitload of YouTuber friends. I know he hosted a all police interceptor race a month or two ago, a couple months ago, something like that. Adam LZ went out to it. I don't remember who. No, Cletus won. Adam got second place. Cletus won, of course. But yeah, they all took out a bunch of
police interceptors.
Yeah, the Ford.
Were they all fixed, or were there some Chevy Impalas in there too?
I'm pretty sure it was all Crown Victorias, and I think they might have had one or two of the Mercury, which is the same thing. Just with
the
badge.
Capri, the same freaking thing.
It's the same thing. But yeah, all these V8 fucking old police cars racing around a short track. I don't know, that's super interesting. Anyway, we've been going for quite a while now, so I think it's about time to wrap it up. Neil, do you have any last words?
No, I do not. It's been a good episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
Sure.
We're finally getting race cars back.
Finally getting them back.
Soon. We'll have the IndyCar race coming up. We got Bristol tomorrow or tonight, depending on when you're listening to this. So.
All right. Churro, any words from you, buddy?
No. He is falling asleep.
He seems generally disinterested.
I also think he probably needs to shit. So I should probably take him out. Because it's been about 3 hours since I've taken him out last. And usually he lasts about 2.5. So I'm gonna go check around the house, make sure he hasn't done his business somewhere.
All right, sounds good, Neil. Anyway, this has been the 3rd episode of It's Race Car Time. You know us. That's Nab. I'm Minty, and we'll be back again next Sunday. This video is going live the 31st of May, so I've been posting them at noon, so we'll get that all wrapped up and ready to go for you to see it then. Thanks for stopping by. It's been a good time having everybody. Neil, have a great rest of your night, buddy.
Bye. See ya.
Later.